Hello. How goes, people? Oh boy. Setting up the stream. I think we are all good now. Just gotta start the tournament. And then we're good. It's bad faction day today. We're playing with the bad ones. It's gonna be Nurgle counterpicks, dwarf counterpicks, etc. Seeing if we can make them work. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it all works out. All right. And oh wait, did I forget to check in for my own tournament? Did I forget to check in for my own tournament? 1 second. Is the bracket up? Did it start? Wait, give me a second. Okay, it started. I forgot to check in though. It's fine. I can I can check my own. I can check myself in. There's a lot of buy rounds. All right, I will give myself the equal treatment that I would to other people. I swear this is not corruption. All right, this should work. Hui. Alrighty. Not playing today. We're playing today. I just forgot to check myself in. Let's see here. There's a way that you can adjust the tournament to fix this, but this should work. We are playing, yes. So this is the usual format where either you can declare your faction at the start or you can do a pick and ban system. We've opted for pick and bans, so that should be fairly comfortable. I've messaged my opponent and we should be starting soon. Am I the only person that forgot to check into my own tournament? Oh my goodness, I'm a fool. I am an absolute foolish fool. I guess this is good practice though to figure out how to set up matches. Okay, not just remake the bracket. This should cause the fewest issues if I do this correctly. Yo, I am programming Antbot again though. That's my ladder bot. The plan is I kind of want to do a tournament format where you just play against each other on the bot ladder. Like it'll queue you up into your opponents, and then after a set amount of time it picks the top person on the ladder, and or the top 4 people on the ladder, and then they play a top 4. I think that would be sick. But yeah, it's a little bit of programming, just a little bit, so it's taken me some time. Hopefully the prototype will be done sometime by next week. Very exciting. What's this? Your name is green? What do you mean by that? You mean like down below here? Hey, Pope Patty, what's up? I'm just trying to get myself into this here tournament. I have messaged my opponent. Hopefully they didn't just see that they have a buy round and then they walked away. That would be embarrassing. Okay, so if I copy this, I just need to make a new thingamajig, right? So tournament, Anticity, single, elim, free pick. And then I just need to do Anticity versus Mats. Uh-huh. Okay, it's all coming together. Okay, and then the parent match should be this number, I think. Watch it just completely explode the thing. The name shows as green on the screen, I see. Okay, so then it should be depth 4. And then if I did this all correctly, then yeah, then we should be good. Then I think we are goodies. Let's see here. Wait, so if I save this, then I need to assign the child match, I believe. Okay, let's just see if this works. Hopefully the thing doesn't explode. Fingers crossed. Excited for these matches. Yeah, man. I think it'll be nice trying out like the Nurgles, the dwarves, the lizardmen. You know, the Zinches. I just want to practice my counter picking essentially. Hell yeah, it worked. Woo! Alright. I needed to pull some shenanigans. Oh, and it's broken. Oh, jeez. What did I do wrong? Oh boy, not like this. Okay, we're good. We're back. And it works. Let's go. Alright, we're goodies. I made it work. Nice, so if anyone else forgets to check in, I will know exactly how to do this. Nice. Now I just need my opponent to message me. And then we're good. That's correct, child match. Let's see our... Alright. Or did I add myself to the wrong buy run? Ah, whatever, this is fine. Hey, Flying Taco, happy to have you here. Alright. But yeah, so I'm coding my Ent ladder tournament. It'll be handled by a Discord bot. It'll be great. Alrighty. Still waiting on my opponent. I think he probably did see that he had a buy round and then walked away, so... it should be fine, though. I can work on my bot right now. Maybe not on stream, though, because my, my Discord token is on there. And I wouldn't want people hacking into my bot. That would be very awkward. But yeah, what I'm thinking is essentially the way the ladder works is you have the players randomized. You can queue into a person that is either, you know, 4 players above you or 4 players below you, so that there's actually some sort of matchmaking being done. And then if you beat the person and they were lower than you, you just move up 1 rank. If you beat the person and they were higher than you, you move up to where they were and actually go above them. So that should be, yeah, that should be pretty interesting, right? That should be pretty good. That way, you know, you're incentivized to play more games, right? So stalling's not really a good strat. And then it's set up so that you can climb pretty quickly up the ladder. It's skill based, and it should reduce downtime because, in theory, there should be games almost constantly going on. You shouldn't have to wait that long, right? I think the highest amount of people that can be waiting is like what, 25% of the people, and you can't re-queue into your same into the same opponent, unlike what happens on turns ladder. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see here. So, if player dot current opponent is not equal to none, else, haha, my software development degree coming into great use. You like how it says Rot, Glorious Rot for Nurgle? It's pretty hype. It's a good ability. Although it takes forever to build up, this thing. Though, in theory, it does a lot of damage. But, like, who has the time to build it up? If player is Pope Patty equals win, yes. Just, I could code in bad RNG and no one would know. Like, Charx will just always match people that are lower than him, so it takes him a really long time to climb up the ladder. Pro strats. All right. A degree for Warhammer 3 tourneys is a good use of a degree. Yeah, my parents would be so proud. Hey, at least it's good practice, you know? If YouTube ever completely falls apart and I gotta go into the software development path to make monies, I will be safe. That's my plan B. Fortunately, my opponent still hasn't messaged me yet. Very unfortunate. Dang it. Still bugged, isn't it? Let me see. This is still bugged, right? 34260. 34. Oh, no, it is working. Hell yeah. At least to an extent. This doesn't look like it's working perfectly. Oh, man. I'm in software development hell. Alright, my opponent has messaged. I got no faction declared. You? Question mark. Let's get this started. He's Demons of Chaos. Alright. What are the counters to Demons of Chaos that are not top tier factions? I'll go, let's see here. All right, so what are my factions? What are my factions? What do you guys think? Nurgle? Okay, I'm not gonna get myself counterpicked for free. My three are... Okay, Lizardmen is a good low tier faction. That's good versus Demons of Chaos. Tomb Kings too, right? Tomb Kings have to be pretty decent. Or, what's it? Chaos Dwarves? Let's see here. I'll go Lizardmen. Tzeentch versus Demons of Chaos. Actually, not the worst. Please don't end the stream early. I'll be casting games if I lose. But yeah, we're going to be trying as hard as we can. Does Vampire Coast do well against Demons of Chaos? I don't think they do. Let's go Lizardmen, Tzeentch. Because the magic damage, am I right? And let's see here. Maybe you do go Tomb Kings. I have a bad feeling about Tomb Kings, though. I feel like he'll really want to face Tomb Kings. And Bretonia? Bretonia is kind of a higher tier. I'll go Kislev. Alright, Lizardmen, Tzeentch, and Kislev. Ooh, I should have gone Greenskins. Dangler would be so sad. Hey, Twitch chat, what's up? Beryl, Noble Naldor. Still Neil. Oh, yes, Skaven. I should have picked Skaven. That's true. Oh my gosh, there's actually a lot of good options. A lot of good generalists. Landing. Borderlow landing. Alright, let's do this. Playing Skaven today? Yep. Let's see what he picks. So Lizardman, he wants to face Tzeentch. Hell yeah. Alright. Today's a good lesser faction counter pick tournament. This is a very useful skill to have if you are trying to get good in the big tournaments. So if he's playing, or if they're playing Demons of Chaos, the typical counter is to kite. They are generally quite kiteable. The problem, Tzeentch does not have the best kite. So it makes a lot of sense that they decided to face Tzeentch. But I have a plan. This should go great. So this is a good spell. Yeah, alright. That's just a standard loadout. If he's Demons of Chaos, what is he gonna have? Like, he's gonna have Soul Grinders? Should I have a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch? Maybe. I think if he's playing Demons of Chaos, it's basically impossible for me to field Changebringers, but maybe just in case. I think if you're playing as Tzeentch, you always want a Changebringer and an Exalted Flamer. If you don't, you are kind of insane. We're obviously going to be facing Furies, right? So I'll need my own Furies for aerial dominance. And then there's the ground game. You know, they can spam Bloodletters, what have you. The usual. Since when is Tzeentch a bad faction? Since Norska Warriors of Chaos got mega buffed. And Wood Elves were just always really good. And they lose to a lot of low tier factions like anyone with kite, like Empire or, you know, Empire, Kislev. Anyone with kite and armor does well versus Tzeentch. They also lose out to Slanesh. Like, they're in the dregs. They're in the dregs with everyone else. Just very specific. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Dwarves also aren't bad. Just people know, just because no one runs them, though. Because they, because their actual counters never show up. Because their counters are not good. Surely we could say dwarves are also a very high tier faction. I think, definitely indisputable. Nah, man, look, if the faction is not a top tier, it's pretty dreggy. The only ones that are like slightly, you know, higher than just the dregs is like, you could say, I don't know, maybe high elves, maybe vampire counts, maybe ogres, right? But like the factions that you see all the time, those are the ones that we're not playing. Now, what do I want? Forsaken of Tzeentch have to be good versus demons, right? I just cannot understand a world where they are not good versus demons. So we're gonna go for a bit of that. And you know what? This seems like a half decent build. I'm sure as long as I micro well enough, we're good. Have we done tier lists? I have not. Or I think I have, but not as like a video. You thought Tzeentch was OP versus Bretonia? Versus Bretonia? I've never seen Tzeentch versus Petonia. I would imagine it's similar to Khorne versus Petonia. You just spam halberds. But like, I'm pretty sure a good enough Petonia player just deletes Tzeentch. In the same way that they delete Khorne. I don't really see what Tzeentch has over Khorne in this situation. Let's see, what would they have? Yeah, like if you halberds spam, I guess the shields are kind of nice. They'll have less armor than the Khorne guys though. So I think it's a little bit of a toss-up. What faction doesn't do at least okay against Nurgle? I'm pretty sure everyone counters Nurgle except for like Skaven and some undead factions. But yes, you know, if you're using Tzeentch as your Nurgle counter, yeah, that's not a good benchmark. All right, here we go. This is pretty standard fare, standard intensity fare. We have a bunch of horsemen. We have the changeling. Sis is the twilight mode activate. We got a little bit of spell kite shenanigans. I got magic damage up the wazoo, so everything here is just slightly more effective against demons than other typical factions. So we should be good. I think Sisters of Twilight will be very annoying. It's one of the best things that you can transform into as the changeling. So if you just do that, life is pretty fine. So let's go ahead with that transformation. All right. He bought 2 Changebringers. The absolute mad lad. Okay, so he or they are basically saying, hey, Tzeentch hates being kited. So what if I kite? Now, Demons of Chaos are not a strong kite faction, but this is pretty hilarious. Interesting. So we have a Demon Prince of Net Your Face and Blue Fire. We're gonna get a little bit of damage in. We're gonna get a sick Blue Fire. There we go. And then we're going to, yeah, just bully these guys. They're gonna land. Interesting. We still took a lot of damage though. And then the Sisters of Twilight can actually just bully this Demon Prince. So fairly good at that. He's gonna net him, but that doesn't actually do much. It's not like I could dodge Blue Fire anyways. Oh, double Blue Fire though. Okay, that's actually kind of nifty. Ouch. Okay, so Sisters of Twilight took a lot of damage from that. Tanks one of the Blue Fire hits over there with the Changebringers. Interesting. Sisters of Twilight are cooking though. And we have our little infantry corps over here. They'll be chilling. We know the net is on cooldown, so that's pretty nice. And if I just keep shooting his Demon Prince, it's fairly good for us. Sisters of Twilight are cheap. Worst case, if I have to resummon them, I am still in the clear. Get that Blue Fire off. Good, sir. Come on, son. Get it. What do you mean you're out of range? This guy. Mega garbage little dude. All right. Oh, he's going to want to Blue Fire me again. Makes a lot of sense. He's just waiting for his shields to regenerate. Land it. Use the pillar. Oh, thank goodness. So this is Twilight with the clutch. With the pillar clutch. Hell yeah. All right. And now he's losing his toad. So that should be a fairly good situation for us. The fact that he just has a bunch of Changebringers is already a really bad situation. I think we can just chase him now with the Furies. So, yeah. Nice dodge. Thank you. Honestly, I did not expect it to go that well. But it did. And yeah, Changebringers are just a little too expensive here. Now, he's going to go for another big shot. Gets 1 Blue Fire, but is too close. Blue Fire was nerfed a while ago. If you're too close, it won't hit. Sisters of Twilight ability activates because he didn't manage, or they didn't manage to get the kill. And you know what that means? They gonna heal. Oh my goodness. Somebody just got screwed by the positioning. That's gonna work out real well for us. Oh, and the Demon Prince goes down. How awkward for you. Magic missile Tzeentch skirmishers are terrifying against demons because they don't have base missile resist. So they just kind of die. And that's going to be the big play. That's going to be the massive play. There's effectively nothing that can be done now. The value trading is through the roof. We have simply outmaneuvered our opponent here. And now we can just move forwards with these guys. Huzzah! Demons of Chaos Kite was not powerful enough this day. Look at these Furies. Oh my gosh. Everything here is so good versus Demons of Chaos. And the Tzeentch has never felt so good. I'm surprised he decided to face Tzeentch instead of anything else. I will say the build was kind of wild though. Oh, the dodge by moving forwards. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is I think we played this exactly how we needed to. It could not have gone much better than this. All right, come on. Kill the dogs. I'm gonna get the doggy charge. And then I will get a soul grinder. He might want to resummon his lord, and the soul grinder would put an end to that very quickly. Was that a doom bolt? You trying to Tzeentch doom bolt me? No, just a little missile barrage. Can I land to dodge that? If I land and go towards it, nope. Got hit. Return fire. Dang it, I was too close. We both make the same mistakes. You and I were not too different. Hey, that doom bolt hit the pleasure seekers. That's kind of funny. Pleasure seekers don't like high DPS situations, so we just surround them here. I think we're good. And my opponent is very nearly out of units. It will take, yeah, just a little bit more time, and you will have literally nothing left. Oh, that blue fire though almost killed the Sisters of Twilight. The point blank shotgun blue fire. Yeah, there you go. He leaves. Very nice. Very nice. Success. The win is ours. All right. GG. Demon Prince did not get much. Sisters of Twilight were kind of cool. The sniping was scary though. Double blue fire is terrifying, but double Changebringer into Tzeentch is pretty wild. You're playing the air game against a faction that is very strong on the anti-air department, very likely to bring blue fire. The only way he would have won that is if he killed like a flying spellcaster at the start. But I think that's basically it. So Tzeentch versus Chaos Demons, and Tzeentch wins. Yeah, the Daniel bullying. All right, so now we're up against Bonds and Evergarden 2. Should be good. Right, there we go. So your tomorrow is reverse Danican. I should message him. Just checking in. Still good for tomorrow? Question mark. All right. And then hopefully this bracket is nice and clean. How do Changebringers do versus Khorne Wrathmongers, by the way? They annihilate Wrathmongers. Changebringers have ultra good DPS. They kill everything that they can shoot at. The harder thing is just shooting at all, because Khorne will generally have Valkia and Furies. That makes life kind of hard. I'll be back in a second, by the way. And we're back. Just gotta make sure I put the food in the fridge. Oh. Murder kill. I think Skaven, if I can squeeze Skaven in next, that's going to be the plan. Would love to get me a little bit of Skaven going. Nurgle kite this stream. What's the Nurgle kite tech? Okay, so best Nurgle kite. If you go Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle. Shouldn't one of these guys have like a Forbidden Rod or something? You could do just basic Spirit Leech kite. Is it the Chaos Lord? No. Okay, so spell kite options are limited. You do have 4 horsemen. Rancid visitations with axe throwers. Is that it? That's like what everyone can do though. Is that it? Surely there's something else with ranged. Angels of Decay kite. Oh yeah, Noxbringer Soul Grinder kite. Hell yeah, this is where it's at. Yeah, so you take the angels, you take the soul grinders, and then you take a spellcaster. If it's a long burn kite, Spirit Leech is what I prefer. So you can just spam it because you get 2.5 back for each cast. So it's effectively 5.5 wins of magic. That's very cheap. And then hopefully this is enough to win. And then you pray. Against, I don't know, man. Against a lot of factions, they can deal with 4 horsemen. Soul grinders are not bad versus infantry, at least, so there's some wild tech there. Is there a matchup where you bring a Lord of Change? He was popular for a bit, but I think Kairos is just way better right now. Kairos is an exceptional spellcaster. Kugath also has a ranged attack. Kugath kite. You see the kappa there. It's true. 28 speed kite. You'd be able to kite artillery with Kugath. I'm like, what has less speed than Kugath? Technically a Dread Maw, but that doesn't count. You mean like not the Lord of Change? Is there any matchup where you'd bring a Lord of Change? No, I mean like not the Lord of Change. Not the Lord of Change? What do you mean? Does Zinch have an ROR called the Lord of Change? Oh, he does! Oh, I see. I see. Okay, yeah, sorry. I thought you meant this. Exalted Lord of Change. But no. No, Zinch has multiple Lords of Change. He has the Exalted Lord of Change. He has the, Oh, is that it? Exalted Lord of Change, Demon Prince. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess it's just... Oh, well, this is the Lord of Change, too. Ah, crap. Okay, yeah, no. They're just called Lords of Change. They're not called... like, Demon anything. Or like, I guess like, I don't know. I guess Keeper of Secrets. Oh, okay. I guess that, never mind. That makes sense. Yeah. This is the Exalted. This is the normal version. I see. These guys you almost never run. You never run these guys. You can tell because I didn't even realize you were talking about them. There's no situation where they are worth it. Far too expensive. The spell casting does not make up for it. Kind of squishy. Not the best fighters in the world. You know, they're decent. Like stat wise, but their HP is a little too low to make up for it. Hitboxes are massive, so they get shot to death. In general, yeah, just don't take these guys. 90 armor is kind of cool though. So that one has 90 armor. Okay, so this guy has 90 armor as a single entity. That's not terrible. 1800 though, that's like a dragon, man. You could have 3 breath attacks. There's no way this guy is on the same tier as a dragon, sadly. If we take a look at this, Compare it to a vanilla high elf dragon. So a high elf dragon you can take for 200 gold less. Has less HP because no shields. But the armor is fine, the leadership is fine, the speed is faster. Stat-wise is made up heavily by its ludicrous charge bonus, more damage. And most importantly, instead of Gehenna's Golden Hounds and Searing Doom, you get 3 Sun Dragon breath attacks, 25% missile resist, instead of the 20% physical. In general, getting shot at is the bigger issue. So this is actually slightly better. And it's cheaper. That's the biggest thing. It's basically, you know, debatably about even in strength, but 200 gold cheaper, and no one wants Sun Dragon. I think Lord of Change, the ROR, this one should cost 1,500 at least, and this one should cost 1,100 before we even think about taking them. Like, yeah, 1,100 feels much more apt for this guy, you know? Maybe that's a little too cheap, because if you compare it to a Stegodon, that can be quite scary, but I think Tzeentch kind of needs some sort of big single entity play. What faction do you hate playing the most? Probably Nurgle. Because their playstyle is the exact opposite of how I play. And I don't know how to make them work. I think Nurgle really relies on you trusting your armored infantry to do anything. But it removes all agency. Like, I am just skill checking my opponent. I'm putting a very mild skill check on my opponent, mind you. Oh, hell yeah, I have my opponent. Yeah, it's putting a very mild skill check on my opponent. So, like, if they bring the right build against me, even a fairly new player could beat me if they have the right build. I think a lot of people won't have the right build if you set your army up correctly. Like, Turin really knows how to set up builds where he kind of catches people off guard with Nurgle. And then they make a couple misplays, and then, yeah. And then he can get wins there. But the only way you can squeeze that out is if you really know your Nurgle builds. And I do not. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. So, yeah. A little spicy. But, you know. At the very least, I can use them as a decent counterpick. Alright, so up against Chosen. Oh boy. They're a spicy meatball. I'll have to decently try hard here. Yeah, Turin is pretty scary. So he can pull wins off against very high level players. He doesn't play fully standard, which can catch people off guard. First pick Norska. Okay. What's a good standard counterpick to Norska? I think Vampire counts as a bad idea. Lizardmen is cool, though. I think Lizardmen's really cool. We're not playing Nurgle versus Norska. What's the map? Creeping Swamp. Okay. So let's go Lizardmen versus Norska. What's another one that's good versus Norska? I think Chaos Dwarves is hype. Skaven versus Norska? There's no way. Chaos Dwarves are not really super bottom tier, though. Ooh, Grand Cathay versus Norska. Now, that's a fun one. I haven't played Grand Cathay in a while. Alright, Lizardman, Grand Cathay. What's your counterpick? Today is the day. Chosen might just destroy me here. We'll see. Disease. You want Nurgle on Creeping Swamp? What's the map look like? Oh, it's this one. I don't think so. Second faction is Khorne. If I remember correctly, this guy likes his rush kind of melee faction play styles. So if we have Khorne and Norska, is this a Vampire Coast situation? I feel like they would do quite well against Coast. Empire is pretty fun. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna pick Empire. Lizardmen, Grand Cathay, and Empire versus Norska, Khorne, and what's his last faction? Nurgle is okay into Khorne. Not okay enough. Chosen is a very strong player. We faced them in the CA Grand Finals. And I had to sweat pretty hard to beat them, so... we're gonna have to see if we can do that. Excuse me, again today. Accept the challenge, rise to the occasion. I'll play Nurgle into Khorne against, like, almost anyone else. And Ogres. Interesting. So, okay. Ogre Kingdoms, huh? Ogres. So... alright. Khorne players happy as long as you get the quota of skulls. If I lose, we're just spectating games. I guess that doesn't change for you guys, though. You're always spectating games. But you'll see less silliness. You'll see more try-hard Norska play. You don't want to see that. Surely not. Alright, if I play Lizardmen into Norska, is that good? He bans Khorne and Empire. Interesting. That makes sense. Never mind. That's not that interesting. That's actually very standard. Empire into Norska should be fine. Grand Cathay into Norska is a real weird one that I kind of want to try. Grand Cathay Khorne, Lizardmen Khorne, Grand Cathay Ogres. They should be pretty good. Lizardmen Ogres would be interesting. Honestly, this is all very interesting. Maybe I just ban out Norska and face Khorne or Ogres. Because Norska's kind of spooky. And if he's leaving Ogres open, I guess that's not too bad. So we'll ban Lizardmen Norska. We'll ban Grand Cathay Norska. Sure. Sure. Let's do it this way. Quick, only one good choice. I'm not trying Skaven into Norska. That was a bad matchup before the update. Now they have like a million more tools, maybe some chimeras. Although I don't think they'd run chimeras into Skaven. That Aaron net is insane. Man, you guys really want to see Skaven. I'll try to squeeze them in. Just anyone but Chosen, man. At least let me get my 2 wins. You have a bad track record versus Khorne without kiting factions? Yeah, that's the reason why I kind of want to face them. It makes for some good practice. Fighting Ogres again should be good too. That Noblar spam build beating my Beastman was wild. I can't believe I lost to Greasus. How is Greasus so good? Who would have thought? Can't deny the Grease. Yeah, Grease is confirmed OP. He's actually kind of scary if you don't have enough shooting. Maybe you run him into Khorne. I don't know. I do feel like if I had a little bit more shooting, though, it probably would have been much better. But I do question. All those trappers actually made it kind of hard to get my shots off. It's wild. Bans Ogres and Lizardmen and Ogres and Empire. Alright. So let's deal with Ogres versus Grand Cathay. If he wants to just play Norse going to Empire, that's fine with me. And then Lizardmen versus Khorne should be fun too. I kind of want to see that. I think he will probably want to play Lizardmen versus Khorne, and that would actually get me some fairly good Lizardmen practice. So under that assumption, I'm just going to start army building that. 4 horsemen, 2 skull cannons, the Mega Khorne kite. He did run skull cannons earlier. Anyone know if they're good versus Pterodon riders? Khorne Lizardmen! Oh boy. Okay, so this is a matchup that I am not very well practiced in. But I think it is one that I should be trying to get better at. So let's take a look. It's Khorne. They have shooting. They got their cannons and all that, so you gotta be a little bit careful. Right, skull cannon shenanigans are absolutely annoying. You don't want to get wrecked by that. What is the best magic versus Khorne? You can always heal yourself. Not the worst. Do you need Tempest versus Khorne though? I feel like there might be a situation where I can find better lords, maybe. Oh, this could be good. Oh yeah, this could be very good. Okay. Sure, all right. Yeah, I don't think Khorne can kite this. I'm pretty sure this is just a little too much for them to properly kite. There's just too many tools here that make it much harder for them. So I feel pretty good about that. Then I need to actually be able to win a frontline fight. Source Warriors are hype, but we've kind of been fallen. They fell off for me a long time ago. Kind of like just skinks. Your normal average skink just feels very good. Take a couple more of these kind of skinks, and then mobility wise. Now, Khorne's not a super fast cav faction. I think Cold One Spear Riders are generally regarded to be the staple of Lizardmen. So I think I would be crazy not to run them. Chameleon skinks do well into Khorne. I think he would expect chameleon skinks, but I would be crazy not to have at least a few. But like, I would expect Chosen to try and hard counter chameleon skinks, especially knowing how I like to play. My playstyle is very heavy on that front. But if we do run into horsemen and all that, chameleon skinks are quite awesome. Sure. All right, this feels like a good build. I got no real complaints. We got Cold One Spear Riders up the wazoo because it's just good. It should be fine. Is Tic-Tac-Toe Air Force ever a thing? Sadly, no. Lizardman Air Force is actually quite weak as far as Air Forces are concerned. I think, yeah, they're pretty middle of the road because their anti-air game is pretty bad. And honestly, the air to ground isn't that amazing either. Razordons and Salamanders feel better with the update on shooting. Did they really update shooting though? They've been like slightly tweaking it over the last while, but it's never felt like it's been perfect. I still always am quite fearful of right-clicking units. You just don't feel the right click doesn't feel that responsive a lot of the time. Let's go Chosen. Cheering for Chosen. They are a very strong player. If we lose, we'll get to watch their games into the finals. Who has the best air game? High Elves. High Elves by quite a long shot. They have a lot of lords that can control the air. They have Tempest, strong air to ground, They are extremely mobile. They can double down on the air game with healing too. They got everything, man. They got ground to air in the form of archers. Yeah. Their air to ground isn't as strong as something like Zinch though, but it's still very, very strong in that front. But here's the build. Croxagores. And we got a healer. We got a little spitter dude in case we see a skull cannon. This guy's good skull cannon counterage. We have some skinks we can bring in. Maybe some Umbral Tide. The good stuff. You can see he's gone for fairly heavy infantry core, marauders, warrior halberds. Nothing too crazy, actually. So I'll need some way to deal with the warrior halberds. I think if I just get the Umbral Tide, though, I don't see a big issue. Skull Taker will die to Hand of the Gods, for sure. Yeah, and as long as I can protect the Umbral Tide, I'm happy. Just have to make sure the doggos aren't too terrifying there. It's actually a lot of doggos. Okay, goes for the horseman spam. All right, just a couple horsemen. Not a big deal. We'll just get one of them picked off and then pull away. I'll get 2 skinks. I'll get 2 chameleon skinks going. And then we can start capturing these points. Just have to be a little bit on point with the dodging. Don't want the horsemen bullying Krotgar or anything here. And once I have my skinks kiting them, I think we'll be a little bit more comfortable. We just have to get that going first and foremost. Gets in another horseman unit. Fine by me. As that means his main army's not really getting that much stronger. And with my skinks here, kind of just bullying him, forcing him back, I think, yeah, I think we're sitting fairly comfortable. A lot of his infantry's just severely out of position. Goes for another horseman. I'd get another skink. We know these guys will just continuously counter him. So I really don't see a big issue here. Marauders, we can definitely bully. And we already have our first Marauder horseman routed. That guy is expensive. You don't want to have him routed off like that. I just have to be a little bit careful about these Chaos Warriors. Chaos Warrior Halberds, just a little bit scary. But if we have them managed, I'm pretty happy. Skull Taker here too is gonna have a rough day. Gets nommed by Crocky G. Okay, now I want a little bit of cav support. Just a little bit to help hunker down the situation. Because if he starts spamming dogs and he catches my skink skirmishers, life is suddenly much, much worse. So we just got to make sure that goes well. Croxagores are doing great. Skull Taker is getting bullied very nicely. Maybe we'll catch a few of these fools over here. Looks like my infantry fight's actually going quite well too. Sacred Croxagores are quite beastly and not to be messed around with. And it looks like indeed the flesh hounds are going down. Overall, I'd say life is good. I haven't noticed too many troubles. Yeah, flesh hounds are getting murdered over there. The infantry fight's just going great. I'll have more invulnerable skinks in a second. Just heal these guys up. They will be getting surrounded though. That's a potential for my opponent to make a bit of a play if I'm not careful. Let's see if we can get in there. Let's use their invulnerability as soon as we can. Yeah, he's really trying to rout these guys, so I want to just stabilize their leadership with a few spells. There we go. Krotgar is here. Hold, you fools, hold. It looks like they will not be holding. Very unfortunate on that front. I will be able to get a pretty solid doggy charge though. Maybe a heal will be able to keep him in the fight. We'll see. Nah, we're gonna get a little bit of a rout. Unfortunate. I wish I had not overextended with those guys. But at least my single entities are still alive, and the center line is going relatively okay. I do think these guys are gonna die though, which is going to be quite bad. That actually is a huge value get though from my opponent. Very terrifying indeed. Still has a lot of dogs alive too, gotta be very careful. And we lose a skink unit on that end. Ooh, nasty. Very nasty. Okay, I'm gonna leave these guys here. We're gonna pull these Croxagores to safety. And then I'm going to get the Umbral Tide for kind of a longer trade type of situation. Secret Croxagores need to stay away from the Halberds, that's for sure. And if I can catch out the Skull Taker, it ain't too bad. Croxagores got a decentish charge over there. We're just gonna pull back. We're gonna get the Umbral Tide in here. Chase off one of them horsemen units. It's not pretty though. I do have time, however. Time is definitely on my side. Just gonna pull back, and then we're going to use the Umbral Tide to start bullying the Skull Taker, hopefully. If he dies, that would be great. Oh, whiffed the shot though. Brutal. And now we are in a triple cap situation. Not a very pretty situation at all for us. He actually pulled up in value. Brutal. What a massive catch. Okay, these guys are gonna have to pull back. We're gonna need more cavalry here. The Umbral Tide are gonna have to hard cook. That is not out of the realms of possibility for them. They should be able to play keep away. How's Skull Taker doing? Skull Taker's still pretty healthy. Ugh. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, let's turn around and just start shooting him. At least we have a little bit of time here. And I have a little bit of time to regroup and heal up and maybe secure some of these points on the flanks. The halberds are going to be a big issue though. We're gonna need more dudes just in general. He knows the halberds are gonna be an issue, so he's de-summoning them for more. Okay, nice. These skinks will continue to live and just be generally annoying. I hope he attacks with these Furies. I would kind of like that. Okay. Salamanders are doing great. He's doing a good job holding all points though. Kind of wish I had the Salamanders here earlier. That would have worked out quite well for me, but what can you do? He's just chilling there. What if I get Chameleon Stalkers here? Will they get a nice little precursor shot on them? That would actually be kind of hype, if doable. Oh crap, he's catching my skinks here. Pull back. Okay, we're just gonna pull the skinks back here. I don't like those Furies, they're very annoying. I think I can at least capture this far end. If I am okay sacrificing a couple skinks on this far side here. He's definitely taking a lot of damage from that pew-pew. Okay, yeah, and I should be able to start securing this location. I think that is at least fairly doable. We can get the Croxagores in here. He's gonna want to commit with those Furies soon. I can feel it in my bones. Skull Taker's out of position. Good crumbling over there. Very nice. Yeah, these Chaos Warriors are out of position. So that ain't too bad. And then what do I want? Probably just some doggos. Hey, actually, this worked out pretty well on this far side. It ain't too bad. It ain't too bad. Could be worse, definitely. Let's get a heal on. Just keep blasting them. Okay, now he's committing with those Furies, right? Surely he's committing with them now. If he doesn't, that would be pretty wild. Definitely just taking it slow here, right? Okay, I'm gonna get more cav. Ouch! Jeez. does finally commit with the Furies. Gets 1,000,000 damage. That is brutal. Wowza. Oh, my salamanders. I wasn't looking for half a second. And he got a lot of deeps in. How's this fight going, though? I might be able to just secure the point by sheer capture weight alone. I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, we got the Furies dead at least. And then we just have to handle this situation. So if I heal myself up and then I buff their leadership, don't you dare out. Then they should be able to hold there. Chameleons will just desummon. Very nice. I should be able to kill off the couple flesh hounds that are here. And then I just gotta use the Lizardmen special of high capture weight to hopefully help carry us here. Skull Taker himself is not doing super great in this blob. We're gonna get a nice cav charge. Nice. Salamanders are back even. If I can secure 2 points, it ain't too bad. So if I just spam skinks here, maybe. If I can spam skinks and then win this capture point, then I think we actually have a pretty decent chance of pulling it back through. But I need a double cap. To stay triple capped would be a very bad situation for us. Flesh hounds are dying. I think we're probably staying triple capped for a little bit, which is really not sitting well with me. I think we might barely run out of time. It's definitely going to come down to a ticket race. If I had a little bit more time, I think we would have gone there. But yeah, he's barely going to hold this, which is very bad for us. Come on, man. Where's the capture weight? Dude, this point is not swinging in the slightest. This point's taking ages. Come on, man. Just swing over. It's taking the longest point I've ever seen. Oh, man. I think he's going to win this. He's going to win this ticket-wise. This point will not swing over, boy. Come on. Okay, okay, it finally swings, but I only have 2 minutes left to get the last couple points. That is not very good at all. Oh, man. If I committed hard enough to the kite, I think we might have had a better chance, but yeah. I think he's just won it. There's just simply not enough left on the field for me to realistically recapture in time. And the blood beasts are gonna be able to hold this. Very close game though. I think the salamanders I should have taken way earlier. They were actually really nice as a form of kind of poke pressure. Brutal. Yeah, he'd be able to re-secure points. All right. GG, well played. GG, well played. I'll cast your games from here on. Dang. Well played, though. Let's take a look. Oof, normal Croxagores actually did really bad. They just died. I think that one overextension where I lost a bunch of dudes put me in a really bad spot. Spec slots, please. Let's take a look. Skink Oracle was good. I think the Furies were terrifying. The amount of damage it dished out was very high. What in the way of mobility did he have? Just some flesh hounds? Halberds were really annoying to dislodge. I think if I had... Yeah, well, he did shut down the Salamander with the Furies, though. But it does force him to commit. We can also use the Chameleon Skinks to buffer them away. And then just go for a more kitey playstyle. I kind of wanted to just take the fight to Khorne, though. Just have a very fighty army. But I don't think they really did that well. His horsemen did okay. Great weapon skinks were not bad, though they did kind of die pretty fast. Yeah, I should have... If I just took 5 chameleon skinks, look at this value. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and then just kite them and then resummon, I think we would have been fine. Alternatively, I could have just gone with Saurus Warriors, but I don't know how they actually play out on the whole. And my Cav micro was only okay. I think my Spear Rider micro could have been better. GG, well played. Okay, I'm gonna add a spectator slot here. Get the army blocker. And then rejoin my own lobby as a spectator. Dang, we're out. It is a single elim tournament. I did want a fast tournament today because I have an appointment very soon. So I have an appointment in like 3 hours. So this had to be a fast one. Is the Ancient Salamander bad in this matchup? Probably not terrible. I could have tried an Ancient Salamander actually. There's a replay that they want moderation on. I see. All right, 1 second. I got to do some of this. Replays. Was it Skaven versus Chaos Dwarves? An appointment you'll be driving yourself to? No, it's in walking distance. So we're good. All right, so apparently there was a disconnect here. Okay, what we got? Vampire Coast when? Eventually. Eventually. So what? We got Ikit Claw. Just gonna move over here. This is the wrong replay, apparently. Apparently, this is the wrong replay. This is just a random, it's a random replay. Interesting. Dang it, man, dude. Can't believe I got corned on. We got corned. All right, there we go. You sent the right replay. All right. Yeah, I think Lizardmen, you almost have to have like you need like a really strong shooty unit, and then you just defend it. That's kind of how Charix does it. But like, I was really bad at defending my salamanders. I could have taken a Tempest caster, but I didn't want him to just like rush me or have like a skull cannon kite. He didn't have a skull cannon though, which tells me he doesn't feel he really needs it. It's interesting. Because he bought it versus my Warriors of Chaos in the other tournament. I'll have to figure it out later. Alright, battle replays. Okay, Skaven vs Chaos Dwarves. Let's take a look. Okay, Vermeil versus Rangito. Double Hell Cannon. Alright. Should have played Nurgle. The great Nurgen. Nurgening of our time. Okay, what we got? Double Hell Cannon. It's piling away. Currently, this is anybody's game. Chaos Dwarves, they got a lot of infantry. Skaven looking a little rough. A flame storm over there. They would need to oh boy, this is a rough start. Flame storm all over the storm vermin. Another flame storm here would just end Skaven, I feel. Let's see. Chaos Dwarves even have the capture points. Oh man, dude, Skaven are so behind. Are you kidding me? Okay, Astrogoth is getting a little low, I guess. Gets the flame storm on the storm vermin though. Clips into some of his own infantry, however. Then back into the storm vermin. Here's the thing, though. Chaos Dwarves are massively ahead as long as these Hell Cannons don't die. Because once they get desummoned, they're going to get a huge value lead. Let's see. Some shots go off. Ikit Claws looking a little worse for wear. Astrogoth is still chilling, though. Chaos Dwarves are nowhere near losing on tickets, so I think they still have a massive lead. There's a shot on the Poison Wind Globadier. That's routed off. And then Yeah, Hell Cannon's gonna use up all their ammunition. If you look at the general value, yeah. Oh my gosh, they paid for themselves. And gone money back even. Plus the Chaos Dwarves have a double cap. Yeah, and there's the D-summon now. So technically it looks like Chaos Dwarves don't have a lot on the field, but look at that. There's 3,000 supplies in reserve. And Skaven probably aren't going to be able to capture points, so now they're spamming some units here. Astrogoth gets routed. But like, yeah, look at that wave of Chaos Dwarves. Plus they have more supplies, and they're capturing the third point. Skaven have like one Giselle and like a Rat Ogre. Skaven are dead. Skaven are super dead. Chaos Dwarves would still need a massive misplay to lose this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Chaos Dwarves is super in the lead. They were definitely ahead. It can look a little deceptive because Hell Cannons needed to be desummoned and units needed to be brought back in. But there was basically nothing left for this Skaven. Basically nothing left. Is there a case where you should walk your army instead of running them? It will conserve vigor very slightly. If you don't need to get somewhere fast, walking is always technically better. But you can also march to a location and then walk. So that, and then in the resting time, they in the time that they're just sitting around, they will get their vigor back. So basically there's no situation where you want to walk. Almost no situation. Though it's usually not a big downside. But alright. Last 3 games cast. Yeah. The thing about walking is that it's also a micro tax. And it opens you up to possible misplays. There's like 50 different things you can do instead of focusing on walking. Walking your units. That would have a significantly larger impact on the game with no risk of accidentally misplaying. All right, here we go. Is there a situation where you can kite while walking against like Nurgle or something? Kite gets better the faster you are, so you always want to run it. But alright, looks like this is Bird versus Chosen's Khorne. Very interesting. Yeah, I think if you're insane at micro, better than any other player in the world, you can do some walk shenanigans. The only other situation is in Warhammer 2 land battle if you're trying to cheese the attacking rules and technically count as attacking while barely advancing towards your opponent, then you can walk your zombies from the edge of the map into the middle. That is also a strat. But yeah, with kite you definitely want to be as fast as possible. I don't miss that. Yo, the walking zombie meta was insane. That was filthy. Did not like it very much. I'm happy we are past that. Now there's conquest and all that. Don't see vampire coast played often in domination. How are they usually taken? They're usually taken as kind of a swarm infantry faction, kind of like vampire counts. They're usually played a lot like vampire counts too, but only a few people seem to enjoy playing them, even though they're not a terrible faction. Ooh, another Lizardmen player versus Norska this time. I want to, I need to see how Lizardmen are played. I feel like they're one of my blind spot factions. Where if someone plays Lizardmen, namely Charix, I don't know what I'm supposed to do exactly. I just don't have a good sense for like what their strengths and weaknesses are. It seems like that armored infantry, you know, just taking strong armored infantry against them does fairly well though. Like, it just didn't feel like I had many options to shoot them, but that might have been because I misplayed and I didn't take like an ancient salamander or something. No bloated corpse. You can take the bloated corpse to defend your artillery. That is something I have unironically done before, and it actually worked out pretty well. Something to think about. So who do we have playing today? So in the top 8, we have Evergarden, also known as Chosen, Bird, Rangito, Pope Patty, Adlering, Rowdy, Scrambled Egg Special, and Serika. I see, I see. The salamanders are what carry the army? I think so. I think I should just always start with... If I'm playing Lizardmen, I should just start with salamanders. Like, the moment I brought it in, I felt like I was way more comfortable. It would have been super good versus skirmishers, too, instead of taking skink skirmishers. I think that was a big oopsie-doopsies. But I'll get to try again tomorrow against Danican in our best of 9. Super exciting. Always have the pocket bloat. Technically, a pocket bloated corpse will almost always be a benefit to your army. If someone ever decides to walk into your backfield, you can just detonate it. And Vampire Coast basically never summons their entire army onto the battlefield because you're saving up money to resummon zombies. So pocket bloated corpse is probably something you should always have, but use very rarely. Unless like you really need that extra versatility. Are ancient salamanders still worthless? I thought they were always not terrible for infantry clear. Bloats are fun to protect artillery with? Yeah. And they don't always kill the entire artillery crew too. You only need some of them to live. And it will still work. So... yeah, there's something there. And you don't have to leave zombie halberds by your artillery too. Bloated corpse frontline. An army of only bloated corpses. Does it cook? Okay, so this is another salamander-less build. It's actually skink maxing. With the fire salon. Okay. Interesting. I feel like this. I feel like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. This probably... I don't know. I think Norse is gonna win it. Though he does have the skink skirmishers. He's gonna need to effectively kite Norska though, and against a Dreadmaw, it's gonna be a little sus. So what we got? We got the Chimera. Very nice. No Tempest here to deal with it either. Lizardmen do have access to Tempest, but not seeing it. Flamestorm for elite stuff. Burning Head. We got Wolfric. All right. What's the counter to the Chimera? Usually Tempest. This is a decked out Wolfric too, by the way. Hunter of Champions, Sword of Torgald, super killy. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like this is very bad for Lizardmen. I think the win con here is if their skink skirmishers can get a lot of value on like these berserkers, maybe some flank shots into the bearmen. They do have a lot of skinks, but skinks trade pretty badly into bearmen. Bearmen are effectively dryads. Look at that stat difference. Significantly more melee attack. They got a solid melee defense that will actually mean the skinks won't be able to hit bearmen really. They have 8 more melee defense than their melee attack. That's usually about the tipping point. But I guess Burning Head could potentially do a lot of work. It really depends on how much value the Dreadmaw can get, but it tends to be very good versus skinks. Let's see. 888 equals lost to Khorne classic. That's Khorne's number, right? All the Chaos Gods have their own favorite number. Interesting. Skink Trollhammer torpedoes. Give them all Troll Hammers. Just give everyone Troll Hammers. That'll buff them. Make anything viable. Oh yeah, there is a solar engine. Not taking pot shots at the Bloodshriek Chimera because it will probably dodge, though it's fast shot. I'm surprised he's not doing at least one shot into its face, but what can you expect? Wolfric and the Sorcerer. We claim this land for us. And the Norskins sitting, the chilling, talking it out. But here's the problem. Lizardmen have a bit of a timer. So this Dreadmaw, given an infinite amount of time, could technically kill everything here. If it wanted to. There's an Unburrow. Lots of damage from the breath attack and the terror. Will the skinks rout? Looks like leadership. Surprisingly high. The Dreadmaw is going to reburrow. Now this thing has a lot of armor, a lot of HP, and missile resist. 25%. Dodges the solar engine shot by ducking underneath it. However, it is getting taken to Pound Town by the cohort of Huatl. Now it's going to use its next Unburrow. A little bit of glitchy animation there. That is going to keep it alive. Wolfric takes a shot to the face. And the Dreadmaw now needs to regenerate its cooldowns. Now, it doesn't regen cooldowns while burrowed. So it's going to have to either reposition, or wherever it unburrows, it's going to have cooldowns for a bit. That's kind of the tricky situation with the Dreadmaw. Wolfric's taking more pot shots. But overall, I think Norska's getting a value lead. They've already done good damage to the skinks. Lots of routing. I would be a little worried if I were the Lizardmen. Another Dreadmaw shot. Gonna distract the solar engine too. Though it does get a pretty nice shot hidden. But now the Dreadmaw has to stay unburrowed for about 15 seconds before it can reburrow. That's this deep tunneling ability. No. The burrow ability, 20 seconds. So that's gonna be a little painful. It's not gonna die, but it does mean damage is being thrown onto it. Good distraction tool though. Cavalry's busy over here, not helping against the Skin Wolves. Cold Unriders get a pretty solid charge. And overall, it's still fairly even. Dreadmaw reburrows. It's at half HP now, but it's gotten a decent amount of damage. And now the big plays. So Chimera. Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. We got a feint. Gets a bit of a fake attack on the Slann Mage Crucifier. Panic button was slammed. Shield of the Old Ones. You don't want it to land a hit because that can do a lot of damage. But if you do this early, he can just disengage. So they played a little game of chicken there, and Chosen won that game anyways. Good doggy charge on the skinks here. As you saw in our game, Chosen was pretty good at getting these flanks and routing off skinks, but as it stands, a cohort of Huatl's just crushing this front line. No halberds this time to really punish them. And that means that they're going to be doing a lot of damage. Lizardman player playing it out fairly well so far. Solar Engine's having a good time. counter charge from the Cold One Spear Riders. Are Lizardmen going to win this? Well, we'll see. Chosen's really good at those comeback plays. We got some Skin Wolves diving on in. Now they're not doing too well, being shot at by the solar engine. But they will get in there. Hunter of Champions is down. Attacked by artillery debuff from the Dreadmaw to rout off the Skink Skirmishers too is pretty nasty. But here's the thing. Skin Wolves are getting debuffed by the solar engine. Because they're ignoring it, they're constantly being blinded by the solar engine. And now, the top tier unit of the roster, the Salamanders, have arrived to punish the Skin Wolves. Their armor will negate most of those shots, but it's still very painful. Extra damage from fire is nasty. The Slann Mage Priest manages to escape for now. Gets hit by the Bloodshriek Chimera, not pretty. But overall, Lizardmen's kind of winning a lot of their fights. Over here in the middle, Bird, the better Lizardmen player. Oh, but the Shatter, what the what? Slann Mage Priest gets dumpstered. A little too low. And he is now off the table. Now, this is a potential swing play for Norska, but it's not over quite yet. This may pull them back a little bit. Value-wise, it's not bad, but look at the damage. Skin Wolves are suffering. Chimera's half HP. That Slann didn't have that many abilities. He's just going to come back, and he's going to have more banishments. It's going to be a very worthwhile resummon. And he's already saving up money. Never mind. Summon some cavalry. I guess he feels like some Razordon hunting packs. Okay. So he wants to get this unit out. Feels like he doesn't need the Slann Mage Priest immediately. I don't hate this play entirely. I think you can definitely get some work in there. Good surround too here on the caster. Shaman Sorcerer kind of suffering now. The counter snipe while Wulfric was off hunting. His best friend just got murdered in the trees. He may very well rout off the map, but I think it's more likely he rallies since the Cold Ones are getting swarmed here. What I'm more worried about for the Norskins is the fact that they're really lacking on overall battlefield capture weight. They lost a lot of their infantry to the Sacred Croxagors here. One of the better units on the roster. I see Lizardmen take them basically all the time. Skin Wolves, are they going to full route? There's a certain range where you can rally if you're far enough away from enemy units, and it seems like this is about the range. So even though their leadership was high because they were too close to this unit, they were still running. But now they'll be able to regenerate. Leave this unit in the trees long enough, it won't be too bad. But still, there's a little bit of an issue. And that's going to be these Salamanders. They're constantly bullying the Norskins, and there's not a lot that can kill them. So look at this. Cold One Riders are over here to defend them. Massive barrage on the Bloodshriek Chimera. Holy moly, this is a vanilla. This is just a vanilla Salamander hunting pack, but they're anti-large, lack of armor piercing. Doesn't matter as much versus the medium armor Chimera. Taking it down to about 1/3 HP with the one volley. Very nice play here from the Lizardmen, but it might not be enough to save the Salamanders. Big boat on them is going to slow them down. And the swarm has arrived, but that flame storm actually friendly fires the Kurgan horsemen. Cold Ones managed to win the fight that they probably shouldn't have with the Chimera over here. And the Salamanders are loading up. They're getting ready to come back at it. Lizardmen have still decided not to resummon their lords. Their leadership is not the greatest. Lord dead, -10, but I would expect him to come back soon. No, a resummon of the Skink Javelins. The Lizardmen player hates having leadership. This can be really bad in a long, drawn-out game because you're going to have a lot of units with very low leadership. It can be sus. But he's still doing pretty well without. I'm not going to lie. This Chimera is kind of getting cooked. Caster lives too, though. So I'd say Chosen still has a pretty good chance here, although they are still slightly behind. I think if Lizardmen can find a way to squeeze their Lord in, it'll be a much better situation for the Lizards. But no. This guy hates Lords. -10 leadership across the board. We got Skaven levels of leadership across the board here. Bird just doesn't want it. He just wants more units. That's crazy. I guess he's not getting leadership bombed that hard, but there is still a Dreadmaw. That's going to rout skinks like no one's business. The Bloodshriek Chimera too. I'm feeling nervous. It's going to be a double cap here though soon. taking the high ground. Should be able to win this if he micros well. Oh, but maybe a misplay. Razordon hunting pack get charged by the Kurgan horsemen. Great weapons. These are glass cannon cavalry units. They love a fight like this. Oh, and a massive loss from the lizards. Brutal. No savior for these Razordon hunting packs. Oh boy, I'm very worried now. He's gonna have to squeeze a lot of value out of these salamanders if he wants to pull back here. He's gonna need to squeeze out a lot of value. Now these Sacred Croxagores are absolutely crushing it. 1,000 value already. Skin Wolf's gonna be coming in to try and change that. But I don't know how well they do versus Croxagores. They do have anti-large, but not a lot of armor piercing. Wolfric's still at half HP, but he's getting kind of bullied here. Bastiladon punching him in the face. We got some salamander shots. These guys are getting so much value, by the way. 1,500 on the one salamander. Gets clipped by the burning head, though. Will that break their leadership? No. For our Lizardmen player has trust in his lizard boys. He knows that they are sturdy. And even with the -10 leadership debuff, he knows that they will hold. And indeed they do. Big hit from the Dreadmaw, though. Gonna lower their leadership by another -10, but they're still sticking with it. They don't care. These salamanders have only one thing in their mind, and that's blasting this darn Bloodshriek Chimera into oblivion. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters, and they're not gonna rout. Look at that flak. The flak shot's coming in. That's not an actual mechanic, but it kind of looks like it. Bloodshriek Chimera is forced to retreat. He's gonna have to land to use his perfect predator ability to heal up. And Wolfric is also being wary. He doesn't want to commit to a big fight where he gets hit by cavalry. That would be the end of him. Skinwolf's getting charged, though. They might need Wolfric to stick around, because that's a Cold One Spear Rider charge. Absolutely devastating. A little bit of a D-summon on the Skink Skirmishers. I like to see it. Ooh, okay. And the Norskins decide to engage. Not taking the time to heal the Chimera. They know that tickets are tight. So the force to stick around. Right click given by the Salamanders. But the heroic Shaman Sorcerer comes in to distract the Salamanders from finishing the job. Here's the problem though. Cold Wind Spear Riders have anti-large. Plus 14. In a long grind, they do great here. But a massive unburrow from the Dreadmaw doesn't matter though. Solar Engine is providing a leadership buff to everybody. Everybody's chilling. They don't care. It gives solid 0% vigor per second. I think it's actually more than that though. You can tell because the vigor is actually positive. But the Burning Head, the Dreadmaw Unburrow, all that the Norskin can bring to bear hits extremely hard. And would you look at that? Massive route. Finally. The lack of Lord bites bird in the butt. Looks like the cohort of Huadl is also going to be suffering some pretty intense casualties. And the Chimera lives with 568 life. A solid play from the Norskin player. Making use of the weakness of the Lizardmen position. And he's rearing up for a double cap. Big problem though, he needs a triple cap. 3 points. All at the same time to win this game. The Lizardmen could potentially hunker down on this last one. But it's gonna be about 4 minutes. That's a long time. Lizardmen are still not summoning their lord. Maybe they feel like they'll just die again. Honestly, understandable. I've been traumatized before. Bloodshriek Chimera really needs a heal though. Can we get a heal for this Chimera? No way this is on cooldown, man. Just heal it up. This thing is so low. It has to have it off cooldown, right? I don't think it's been spamming it that much. He doesn't heal it. What are you doing? Maybe it is on cooldown. I don't know. But this thing's gonna die the moment it lands on any Spear Riders. And he's gonna have to commit if he wants to capture this point. Definitely the best matchup today. This match is wild. Love to see some solid Salamander play. Razordon's actually rallied only to die to some swarm of flies infantry. And the Chimera goes in. No heal cap on it though. If it dies here, that's a pretty big loss. Very expensive tool. Gets charged by the cavalry. Surrounded. It's immune to flank and working out decently, but a couple more hits and I think we're about to see it rout. Leadership goes to 0. It's exhausted. He's tired. His friends are routing. Everything looks bad. 37 HP, but he still hasn't routed yet. Somehow, some way, this Chimera has infinite leadership. How is it not routed yet? What the crap? It died before it routed. Holy smokeroos. Talk about a strong unit. But I think the Norskins are getting cooked. I think Chosen got cooked by the better Lizardmen player, Bird. Showing us how it's done. You bring the Croxagores, but you bring a solid dino to get a little bit of counter kite, fight on your side of the battlefield, and farm it up with the Salamanders. That's how you do it. Wolfric is surrounded now. Sort of Torgal not going to help him. And the cohort of Sotek, they hold for a decent amount of time, but this point does get captured. Now, there is still a non-zero chance that Norska still somehow manages to win this. Gotta remember, no leadership for the Lizardmen. Holy crap, the Cold One's actually routed to a tiny charge from the Ice Wolves. Maybe a shot from the Dreadmaw? No. Oh my gosh, wait. Wait just a darn second. The Norskins are piling in. You're kidding me. They're actually going to secure the point. There's no way the Lizardmen can actually slow them down. They got 2 units of infantry here. Oh, and they get it. They get the triple cap, but a bit of an issue. They didn't send their Kurgan horsemen to this point. So now the Lizardmen, cackling with their skin capture weight, get on the point. It's positive, but barely. The Kurgan horsemen panicking, trying to get here as fast as possible, but this is 10 capture weight. There's nothing left. If he captures this point, there's nothing the Norskins can do. And the Lizardmen, with the surprise back cap, manage to get the game. We would need an absolute miracle here for Norska to hold it. Though it's gonna be pretty close. The Ice Wolves and the Horsemen are in. Javelins out. Are you kidding me? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, there's a way. There's a way. They bring it back. Here's the thing, though. There's one more unit of Skinks. There's no more Norskins on the way. Wolfric, panic button hit. Ride, Wolfric. Ride. What are you doing? Oh, my gosh. Is he going to get there in time? No. The Lizardmen win. Holy smokes. What? Oh, that was crazy. That was insane. How? How? Oh, the misplays. Dude, Chosen could have won it. He just was slightly misplaying on the capture points. He could have had the Kurgan horsemen there a little earlier. But he sent them the wrong direction. No. Oh, the brutality. Very well played. I love to see me some Lizardmen play, not from Charix, because you actually get to see the different play styles. But what was that game? That was crazy. Send that to Turret. I should just post that game myself. That was a sick game. Oh my gosh. That was an amazing game. Wow, I love that one. Send it to Turin with no context. I should cast it. I should put a video. I should send it to Turin. I'll send it to Turin. I think the world has to see this, right? You know what? I'll send it to Turin. I'll make a video. It'll be a good time. Wowza, though. That was insane. That was insane. There we go. I sent it to Turin. He must see it. He must see it. And it's a Lizardman win too. You gotta love to see that. Oh boy, dude, the solar engine giving the vigor buff paid for itself too. Man, that's crazy. He beat the best faction in the game, basically. Chimera got hella value. Worm got hella value. It just wasn't enough. Love the cavalry play too. That was really nice. Look at that value. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, so Lizardmen are all about the Salamanders and the Razor Dawns. I get it now. I understand. Yeah, boy finally gets it. At least I think so. I'll have to play Lizardmen against Danican. And they're going to be up against Rangito. I think that was the Chaos Dwarf player from earlier. That should be interesting. Oh. Oh, man. Yo, I love spectating other players, too. It's great. That's one of the main ways I learn how to play other factions. Watch how other people do it, copy their playstyle. Easy dub. Whew. Pestigors are bad right now? Pestigors are fine. Nurgle is bad right now. That's the real issue. Who won? You had an ad? Dang it. Yeah, it was Lizardman. Yeah, sorry about the ads. You have to manage it a lot to time the ads properly. So like advertisements, like Twitch wants me to run ads and then I'll show fewer ads later. So like in theory, if I run ads during the downtime right now, that should make it better. But like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want it to just... I want to like just feed you guys more ads for no reason. Yeah. My heart, I can't believe I won that. Well played, good sir. It sunk when he capped the middle point. Yeah, with 3 tickets to spare. Crazy match, man. You're chosen scary. They're a strong player. Turn was saying Nurgle is strong, but it must have been an old video. I think Turn likes to say that Nurgle is stronger than people think. And Turn can win tournaments with Nurgle every once in a while. Not consistently. But the fact that you can do it every once in a while means they're not garbage tier. But they're definitely one of the worst, if not the worst factions. I think if you ask him today, he will say Nurgle is the worst of the bunch, sadly. Have a nice appointment later. Going to eat. It's late in Europe. All right, peace. We have 2 more games to cast, and then the tournament is done. And then I can go to my appointment. It'll be great. Top 4 is Bird, Rangito, Rowdy, and Scrambled Egg Special. How exciting. After I win a tourney with Bretonia, I will quit Warhammer. Dang. How long do you think that'll take? Bretonia is not terrible right now. They just have some really bad counters. Nurgle has a more than a few matchups that are just pure suffering. Yeah. That's the Nurgle life. Has anyone played Beastmen? Today, no. In general, Beastmen are fairly popular. People tend to gravitate to them when they want to play a rush faction that isn't Norska or Chaos right now. Give me 2 months. Actually, more. Give me 5. Surely it doesn't take 5 months. Oh boy, yo, tomorrow should be fun though. I look forward to a best of 9 with Danican. I'll have lots of games. Get to go ultra try hard. Whip out my Chaos, Norska. All very strong factions. I just gotta get this tournament working. Oh boy. What is this? Ah. More coding. Yeah, so for those of you that missed the announcement earlier in the stream today, I am going to be making a new ladder bot specifically for tournaments, because you may have noticed that a lot of these tournaments have quite a bit of downtime. You're kind of just sitting around doing nothing most of the time, right? And that's just boring. So what if we do a tournament format where you basically just simulate a ladder where people can queue up into each other with matchmaking. They queue up into each other and they play games, and the people that are at the top of the ladder within a set amount of time, those ones move on to the top 4. This, in theory, should minimize downtime by an insane amount. The maximum, in theory, right? The maximum amount of people that would be waiting should be only 25%, right? And in most Swiss tournaments, the average amount of people that are waiting is like 50% after the first match is finished. So I think this is the pro strat. But I need to write some code to actually test if it works. This will be run entirely through a Discord bot too. That should be fun. But hopefully it's not a buggy mess. I am not a seasoned developer. I graduated and then I worked for a couple of years. But yeah, a seasoned developer I am not. So we'll see. Okay, so how did this work? So this was player 7 was against player 1, and player 1 was against player 7, and then they finished their game. Okay. Player 7 won. Is that right? Should we be doing that? Oh man, it's been so long since I've did software dev. It's been ages. So that is. Doesn't Vermin League Discord have something like that? Yeah, but it's I think that's a constant ladder. This would just be a mini ladder for tournaments. I'm basically trying to make a system that is better than the current Swiss system that we have. And yeah, this would be oh, they have it for Dom too. Yeah, but like this is this is for tournaments specifically. So this is just like a mini ladder that runs for it. It's also nice because once I get this set up, I can also do pick and ban systems. That would be pretty fun. If that is greater than that. Wait, did I screw this up somehow? No, okay, we're good. Yeah, if the user ID is less than that. So much coding. Also, looks like we have, is this Ogre Kingdoms versus Chaos Dwarves? Exciting. Ogre Kingdoms versus Chaos Dwarves. I would put my money on... do I put my money on Lead Belchers? Do Chaos Dwarves have a counter to Lead Belchers? I think they do, right? I think Chaos Dwarves with 1 Death Shriek put Ogres to shame. Anyone have a counterpoint to that? I don't see what Ogres are supposed to do versus a Death Shriek, especially because last I checked, Uranus Thunderbolt doesn't do a lot of damage to Death Shrieks. They have a weird hitbox thing. That makes them kind of invincible there. So, yeah, that's a bit of a problem, ain't it? Just a mild problem. Two death streaks. Chaos Dwarfs have good casting. Would this incentivize fast rush builds? Oh, for the tournament thing? Technically, I think it would incentivize a little bit playing faster and rushing. But at the end of the day, winning games slowly should get you to the top either way. Like, you still have to win. I don't think you can offset, you know, a lower win rate. Yeah, to climb the leaderboard. But maybe I'm wrong. Wait, what's the map? Why are they on Assault on Ash River? Map should be Lost Temple of Sotek. Okay, there we go. I was a little worried. I'm like, did I just give them a totally incorrect map? But yeah, if I wanted to be really safe with this tournament approach, then I would make it where I take from top 8 instead of top 4, since top 8 is way more forgiving. And then I think it should be good enough. At least that is the hope. Dang, I just noticed. I completely did this this code incorrect. Okay, there we go. Oh. There we go. Code is fixed. I think anyways. Okay, so it is ogres versus chaos dwarfs. Actually, this map is not this map is pretty good for ogres, right? Yeah, there's a lot of trees, but that means more cover from the artillery pieces. Are we gonna see a big rush? Yo, are we gonna see a Greasus? Okay, here we go. This is the real meta, right? So we get Chaos Dwarves versus Ogres. And Ogres are going to Noblar rush the Chaos Dwarves with Greasus. Similar to how we lost when we were playing Beastmen. Except in this case, the Ogres would get shot into oblivion. You think we'll see a Stonehorn? You remember the Stonehorn meta? People were really complaining about Stonehorns for a good amount of time. But Stonehorns like really fell off, didn't they? We need 400 speed Greasus. I wonder how he would fall in the meta. How would the mad lad do at 400 speed? I feel like he still might get shot to death. The guy's surprisingly not tanky. Also, it is a lot of Noblars. Okay. Interesting. What are you planning to do there? What is this? Let me see this. Yeah, it's like max pigback rider, mass trapper, gorgers. Okay. What is this? Heaven's cast. Okay, this is pretty normal. Chain lightning, thunderbolt. Chaos dwarves went. What? 4 guns. Okay, double fire glaive, double blunderbuss. What in the world are we seeing? What am I looking at? Who does this? All right, let me just get this done. All right, seriously, who does this? What is this? Okay, so this is asking to get rushed, right? The fire glaives and the blunderbusses are pretty weak to magic, and there's no artillery, so the ogres can choose where they fight. It's a fun build, but is it a good one? He has Astrogoth, Flamestorm, not bad. I feel like Burning Head would be better versus Noblars, but interesting. Cool people do it. Rangudo's build is definitely pretty cool. What we got here? Bird has, man, this is wild builds on both sides. The Gorgers. Gorgers! Can you believe this unit used to be 25% stronger? Yeah, full campaign army. Both sides. Don't know why you wouldn't take Burning Head by default. Flamestorm is better versus elite infantry. There's no elite infantry for ogres, so it's definitely not as good as Burning Head here. I can't think of a single situation where it does better than Burning Head. But it's there, if he wants it. Also more prone to friendly fire, so yeah. Oh, does Astrogoth not have Burning Head? Oh, Astrogoth might not have Burning Head. Isn't he a, doesn't he have Hashut magic? Maybe. Oh, this will be quite interesting. So Noblar Trappers and Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits are very similar units. They cost a very, they cost the same actually. I think they're both 500. But these guys have anti-infantry. The Trappers are much better versus cavalry because of their traps. So we'll see who actually wins. I've never been super impressed by Trappers. They always felt kind of expensive, but if people aren't running as many wind spells nowadays, I guess I can kind of see it. I'm casting the rest of the stream. Yeah, we done died. Got knocked out by Chosen, but it's okay. Be playing a best of 9 versus Daniken tomorrow. Much excitement. Oh, we got some big shots. Oh, dang. Surprise death streak. Boom. Hits the hobgoblins as much as it hits the ogre bulls. A little bit of friendly fire. Flamestorm on the trappers. Gonna get a lot of damage. But overall, not too much going on here. Ogres have managed to get a flank, though, with them Gorgers. And here we go. Blood Vultures on the blunderbusses. Now, this is a good distraction. It's not actually going to kill them. They don't have the armor piercing. What is going to kill them, though, is this. Lightning from the heavens takes out half their HP in one shot. And that's an insta-rout. Very nice play. Chaos Dwarves falling for the trap of the Ogre Kingdoms. Bring in an elite infantry. Only to have them blitzed. Oh, the humanity. Wow. Wow, that chain lightning damage. For those of you that don't know, chain lightning is 100% armor piercing. Does over double the damage of Pit of Shades. It's really strong if you want to kill elite infantry. Oh my goodness, that is so much value. 1,200 gold just like that. And Bird looks like they are taking a rather massive lead now. Fortunately for the Chaos Dwarves, they brought a lot of guns to a Noblar party. And they just are not getting any value, are they? Oh, geez. 66 value? 400 value on the Fire Glaives. I think he was expecting bigger ogres. Maybe a Stonehorn? Anything to shoot at other than Noblars. But, man, there you go. Another lightning bolt. The ogres are pushing the chaos dwarves all the way back into the home field. Vultures have landed. They're going to distract the death streak. Oh, this is a disaster. While the last game was pretty close for Bird, this one looks like they are really crushing it. Ogre Bowls going for the charge on the Sneaky Gits. A little bit deeps, but now the Lead Belchers are here. Nothing's here to counter the Lead Belchers, and this is just an absolute ravaging. Do we even look at this? This is just... What do we have? What do we have left? How'd the trappers do? Traps activated. Sneaky Gits getting surrounded and murdered. Out of position. Way too far forwards. Yeah, there's no way they come back from this. Triple cap. I guess technically there's still a lot of time left, but ogres would need to throw in many ways here. Chaos Dwarves essentially have one Astrogoth. I think the only way the ogres can lose this is if they just blob all their units together to one location, get Overcast Flamestorm, and just kind of follow it around a bit. That would even it out. Then we would have a bit of a match. But like, there's literally nothing left. I think, yeah, there's a Bull Centaur, there's Astrogoth, and a Death Streak. None of those guys can capture points. I've got a Hobgoblin here. Hell yeah, look at that. I see. That's not gonna do it though. Gorgers are even still alive. We still got 2 of them. Oh, and the Pigback Riders on the Bull Centaurs. Already halfway to paying for themselves. Brutal. Ogres are banking money too. They have money to spare. He's... Bird doesn't even care anymore. Either that or he's saving up for something real cool. They could chain lightning their own army. Ooh, yes, yes, that would also... Oh! Flamestorm has dropped. Gets a couple Noblars. Yo, this mass Noblar strategy for Ogre seems like a very fun strategy. I think people should definitely start running more Burning Head against Ogres. More wind spells, more easy Noblar clear. Because as it stands, if this becomes big meta, I think people will be getting caught off guard a lot. Way too many people are prepping for the Ogre Swarm. Just woke up here. What did my autoplay do? That happened with another content creator recently too. Is autoplay just sending people to Warhammer streams? Mayhaps. Big old Lead Belcher volley on the Bull Centaurs. Pretty brutal. Dismember though. That's just a direct damage and a slow. Gonna pin them down for maybe these Noblars to catch them, but even though apparently they have no limbs, they are still fleeing those Noblars faster than they can catch them. Ooh, another shot. Oh, here we go. And boom. Oh, the Death Shriek countered by the Twig. Look at this dead tree. Stronger than the most advanced Dwarven artillery technology. Saving the Lead Belchers. That is not what they need. But the second shot, it comes. It's coming in. Homing shot and kerblamo. Nails one ogre. Only 15 more shots and we are good to go. That Lead Belcher unit is dead. Unfortunately, there's only 14 shots left. Brutal. Here we go. Here comes another. That means, yeah, Death Shrieks probably don't kill Lead Belchers that quickly. You get 1 kill per shot. That's honestly not very high. Not particularly impressive. Good to know. But by the time the Death Shriek kills them, I think the Lead Belchers get their value, which means this is probably more Ogre favored. Obviously, the Chaos Dwarfs didn't have the perfect army for this. Maybe if you just spam a bunch of Chaos Dwarf warriors, they just absolutely clobber Noblars. But that's risky with all the Ogre Bulls running around. I can't believe he's flamestorming his own units at this point. Trying to deal damage to the Ogre Bulls, but Flamestorm does way more damage to your infantry than Monstrous. It does effectively nothing versus Monstrous, so... yeah. Pretty brutal. There you go, though. 11 more Ogres. 11 more shots. I think it got a 2-for-1 deal, the Death Streak. The time is now. These Ogres are getting massacred. Oh boy, massive shots. Ooh, good lightning bolt. Dang, dude, these lightning bolts are cooking. The Slaughtermaster has 2,000 value. That's usually the benchmark for a really good caster. If you bring the perfect caster for the job and you're just landing hit after hit after hit, they can get 2,000 gold worth of value. Many times you see casters at 500 gold. So this means that Bird really brought the right man for the job. Another Death's Freak shot. Lead Belchers. Have they paid for themselves? They're already on their way to paying for themselves despite being hard focused. Oh no, no, not the Hobgoblins, run! I think they got trapped. Oh, they got Nobbler trappered. Jeez Louise, what a massacre. Oh boy, that's 500 gold. Jeez, no. They route back into the Chain Lightning. Are you trying to die? Oh, look at them tripping. Dude, that was insane. The Chain Lightning's sick. I should run Chain Lightning. Yo, that's insane. Chain Lightning looks hilarious to play with. Can we get more of that, please? Dang, man, that's a good clear spell. I have never seen it perform so well in my entire life. He's sitting at 2,350 value. That is much higher than what a basic footcaster should be getting. Crazy. How are we doing today? Pretty good. We did lose, but we're watching some very fun games. This is the top 4. After this, we are moving into the grand finals. Scrambled Eggs lost to Rowdy, so it's going to be Bird versus Rowdy. Ooh. Until you use it wrong and then it curves back into your units. I wish you could still aim Vortex spells. C-A-Y. Why did you change that? Oh, they both disengaged. They're like, all right, it was nice meeting you. I will see you another day. I'm just gonna walk back home. They both know they can't kill each other anyways, right? His army's dead. What is this walk? What is this? What is? Okay, look. Dude is skipping. Oh, he has a peg leg.
What spells are good against monstrous infantry?
Almost no spells are good versus monstrous infantry unless it's like a direct damage flat amount like Final Transmutation. Crap, wait, oh geez, wait, I just noticed. I was making fun of a guy. I was making fun of his walk, but he's literally an amputee. That's not a good look. Whoopsies. Also nice, thank you. Nice donation amount. If this game crashes, Bird absolutely takes the win. But yeah, monstrous infantry, usually the best thing you can do is just shoot them. Not a lot of magic does well. Missile spells don't really do well against them. It's rough. Yeah, the terrifying ogre skipping attack. I didn't notice that he had that he had peg leg. But yeah, GG. Well played. Cancel Intensity. This is how it all goes down. But nice. Looks like this tournament will finish in time for my appointment. How wondrous. Ogre Bulls did great. Trappers did well. Gorgers did surprisingly well. I guess just being unbreakable. And their anti-infantry armor piercings, just good versus Chaos Dwarves, right? At the end of the day, when you lose all your win conditions, all your very expensive win condition units, you're gonna die. Deathstreak did pay for itself, though, which means there might be hope for the Chaos Dwarves. I think if they bring some Deathstreaks at the start, maybe they can get some work done. Fight on their side of the map, that could help out a bit more. Bring a Flame Storm. Probably some Terror, too. I'm not a big fan of this Chaos Dwarf build. Maybe if you just spam Dwarf Warriors. That's enough, but... yeah, it's a little tough. Blood Vultures didn't do that much, but I guess they did distract the guns a bit. Ah, I see. And Iron Guts. Iron Guts are a cool choice, because they're armor-piercing anti-infantry. Very nice. Hey, don't judge ogres for their looks, alright? They're a completely different species. Although doesn't evolution tends towards liking symmetry. So ogres not looking super symmetric would generally be bad, but there's a lot of animals in the world that aren't very symmetric too. So maybe, yeah, maybe that's how it works. Although ogres weren't dictated by evolution. Maybe the old ones just like didn't craft them as well as they should have. I don't know. Aren't ogres literally half-baked? by the old ones, or is that halflings? I don't know. He probably ate his leg. I like how it typoed into hate, which also works. All right, the finals had a few upsets today. A lot of big names got taken out, but Bird's on a roll, man. I've been loving their builds. I don't see Bird a lot, actually, so to see them in the grand finals here is actually very nice. What will they be bringing, though? They don't have a preset faction, so we might see them play anything. Commissar over here, getting ready for 40k, I bet. Looks like they're playing dwarves. Hell yeah. Is it going to be ogres versus dwarves? We'll see. Lizardmen. What? What? Bird, you mad lad. All right. This is just Bird schooling me on how to play Lizardmen today, isn't it? Oh boy, alright. Typically, Lizardmen are pretty bad into dwarves. What's the map? The map is Skollendir's Cave. Alright. Skollendir's Cave is a big map. Kind of awkward if you don't start with artillery. Your spawn zone has a hail that makes it where artillery can't shoot, blocks artillery line of sight until you move them up. So if he doesn't start with artillery, then it's a little rough. And starting artillery with artillery opens him up to being rushed. But otherwise, the map is fairly wide and open. I would expect the ogres, they would probably be able to capture the point. Noblar spam won't do well into dwarf warriors. I mean, wait, no, he's playing Lizardmen, not ogres. Oh, I don't know. He's gonna go Shredder of Lustria Rush, maybe? What if we see a Shredder Rush? You think that would do something? Maybe. This is such a classic matchup, too. I haven't seen this in ages. What a finals. We got dwarves, we got lizardmen. Resist the filth. Nobody's playing Slanesh, Norska, or what have you. I did hear some people wanting some extra restrictions on Norska and Slanesh. My invitation to them always is, if you want to see a unit get banned or a faction get restricted, you need to go to one of my tournaments and win with them. Prove to me that they are so strong that even a relatively lower ranked player can win tournaments just by selecting the super strong faction. As it stands, we have not gone too much data yet. So we continue to wait. The fact that we're seeing lizardmen and dwarves here means that still mostly just player skill hard carry. People just playing the factions they love. Seems like a hard matchup with how good dwarf cannons are. That's the main issue, yes. This matchup entirely revolves around how you deal with dwarven cannons. And the dwarf player can choose not to opt into it if they want to. Skinks counter slayers, slayers counter large units, dwarf warriors counter skinks. You can do some salamander kite, but that takes forever. Kiting dwarves is, generally speaking, not recommended. So, yeah. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And the Dowry player is ready. We could see gyrocopters too. They're not terrible versus lizardmen, but since there's Tempest and a few other tools, gyrocopters they can be risky. in domination too. They don't clear skinks super well. There's a few ways this can go. Oh boy. And we're in. What do we got? It's a melee dwarf build versus salamander kite. Hell yeah. All right. Oh boy. Oh boy. What? Wait. Okay. So it's a melee dwarf build versus salamander kite. What does that mean? What does that mean? How does this pan out? Yeah, not kiting as dwarves. It's the other way around. Huh. Huh. This is gonna be brutal. Can't wait. What is this? Alright, so I'll get into the game in a second. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. So this thing has armor piercing explosion shots. He has Gorok, which is actually not bad against dwarves. Really high stats, could just kill him. Mace of Ulamok. Oh man, this is classic. This is like Warhammer 2 tech. This will reduce the dwarven melee defense enough and increase his melee attack enough to actually hit them. Typically, dwarves have ludicrous melee defense. Sitting at 45, that means that he's not hitting them that often, 35% of the time. But he can boost that by 50%. Not 50% more, I mean like plus 50% to 85% chance to hit with this ability. Chain Lightning is back. Though no, I mean not Chain Lightning. Thunderbolt is back, but no Chain Lightning. Goes for Harmonic Convergence, which I'm not personally a fan of, but maybe he'll show off how cool it is. And the Ancient Salamander is in. Now with no Dwarven guns, that's already a kind of sketchy. Have you ever played Path of Exile 2? I think only a smidge. Or maybe that was Path of Exile 1, I don't know. I think it was okay. I used to like those types of games as a kid, but not much anymore. I'm all about them strategy games. Which buffs are actually worth the Winds of Magic cost? Not many. There's a few debuffs like Plague of Rust. And buff spells can be good, like Flesh to Stone to help in cavalry fights. But generally, buff spells are only good if they last the duration of the fight. Which means they don't really work well on infantry. It has to work. The fight has to last about 20 seconds for the buff spell to be useful. You need a lot of DPS. So that's kind of the main issue. Feral Cold Ones might actually get rampaged here. Bit of a misplay from Bird, but he's doing well over here. Salamander's getting work done, and it actually is a melee fest. Okay. Okay, Commissar, I see what you're doing. The good old no ranged build. So he's entirely relying on the base value of his units to trade up here. It's a composition type victory, because there's not a lot you can do with infantry to squeeze more value out of them. But once you hit a certain amount, your opponent stops. They run out of solutions to infantry, and they're stuck with Feral Cold Ones that aren't going to do anything here. They're stuck with, you know, maybe some single entities that can't clear them fast enough. And if your infantry can win the frontline fight, it goes pretty well for you. Here's the problem. This Salamander is very good at clearing infantry. There's Saurus warriors here. And there's ranged skinks to shoot at the slayers. So I'm not entirely sure this is gonna work. Takes a blasting charge out. All right, that's good. Blasting charges can potentially be a nice wing play. And he did kill all the cold ones, so that's pretty nice. It could still go the way of the dwarves. Technically, the value trading says it's better for them. I would like to think the salamander value tracking's not great. Magic is hitting pretty hard too on the Longbeards. Which, by the way, he brought with gold chevrons. Okay, all right. Worthwhile target to lightning bolt, I'll tell you that. This is a wild dwarf build. I don't think it's gonna work, but we'll see. Gorok, by the way, dumpster in the Dragon Slayer. He's dazed. No melee defense versus 72 melee attack. he gon' die. All right, there's no other way to look at it. Gorok is the OG dwarf slayer, but counter punches here. Blasting charge volley on the red crested skinks. A lot of value for these blasting charges. Should route them off, but no. The miners are routing, providing them a leadership increase, which actually helps them stick around. And I think this is still kind of sus for the dwarves. The one ranged unit they brought is in melee. Slayer Pirates versus Skink Cohort. The stat difference is fairly good for the pirates, but the damage is still not too pretty over there. Salamander having the time of its life. 500 gold already, looking pretty happy, but boom. Slayer in the butt. We got one Dragon Slayer here fighting the Salamander. How fitting. And that's pretty rough. These guys don't have a lot of HP. Does not want to be getting slapped. He is forced to disengage. And he's fast, thankfully. So, the fate of many Dragon Slayers. Not actually getting into the fight. Pretty rough. I feel like these guys should get like a speed boost when a single entity is nearby. They should have like 100 speed if there's a big monster nearby. I feel like the fact that they're always just running like this is way too sad. Gorok 2 is just crushing it. This guy, he disengaged from Gorok. How dare you? The Slayer. He deserves to take another Slayer oath, but I don't think he'll be getting that. He's getting darted to death. Oh boy, big man Gorok right in the back. Hits him for 1,000,000 damage. Second hit. Misses. Oh, what a way to go. He dies to the skinks. What a way to go, man. That Slayer. Worst Slayer in history. The only thing he did right was dying. Which I guess that means Gotrek is still probably the worst. But brutal loss over there. That was one of the anchor pieces for the dwarves. But Bird is just playing it well. He's just playing it well. It's kind of rough when, when you bring an infantry build, you are skill checking your opponent most of the time. But if they control well, take cost-efficient fights, it's pretty rough. Like, look at this. Slayer Pirates getting charged by the Feral Cold Ones. A couple Slayers here. They won't be able to do anything versus these skinks. And now I imagine it's just going to be a fight for the middle. Now, here's the thing. Dwarves still have the far side well secured. I don't think that's falling anytime soon. And they do have a lot of Slayers in the middle. Full capture weight and maybe a skink kill. I would personally say... What's up? Hey, what's up? We're just casting the finals of this tournament. How does Saurus compare to Dwarf Infantry? Fairly well. Fairly well. As long as no one is shooting into it, Saurus will trade roughly evenly. Just because it's so tanky. But yeah, look at this. Demon Slayer killing off the Skink Priest. He's getting a bit of deeps in. Normal Slayers are grinding through the red-crested Skinks. Slayers of the Lizardmen. And hey, look at this guy. He's dead. Gorok is still miles away too. And the dwarves could potentially steal this point by just spamming miners. So what they're doing right now is they're just buying time. So this is another win condition for this build, where you basically say, hey, I'm going to down trade slightly, but I'm going to control the points, and it's going to take you so long to kill me that I'm just going to win the game even though I'm down trading. Cavalry, though, very good at clearing infantry. Cavalry got an update about a year ago where they got a lot more impact damage. And that's going to hurt the Slayers quite a bit. In the grind, though, that's where the Slayers cook. Cold Ones take a lot of damage back. Ripperdactyls are interesting too. And the dwarves are lacking capture weight on this point. If the Lizardmen can secure a double cap, it's over. And they're pressuring all 3 points now. A little risky going for all 3 points. That spreads you out a bit thin. But because the dwarves don't have cavalry, I don't think it matters as much. Bird's starting to take the middle, and I think this is a Lizardmen win. Blasting charges though. Oof. Big hit on the Chameleon Skinks, but they're not the scary unit, it's these guys. Saurus Warrior Shields, very good stats, very high HP. They'll be able to clean up these guys, even the Giant Slayers in their disheveled state. And now, yeah, Bird is just focusing on the value trading. Ripperdactyls are really nice if you can cycle charge with them. They're very mobile, they can control a lot of space. And now that he's not worried about losing on tickets, very smart play to bring these guys in. Because you can see over here, You can take these Longbeards to Pound Town. They may be gold chevron, but that's not going to do much versus Ripperdactyls. You'll see in a second. Because they have anti-infantry. 51 melee attack with the Frenzy. Oh my goodness, these poor Longbeards. These guys are gold chevron too, so they cost about 1,000 gold. Impact hits ignore melee defense. So they're taking a lot of deeps there. Range shots from ancient salamanders also ignore melee defense. Same with the chameleon skinks. And they're kind of just getting shredded. 59 melee defense down the drain, 1,000 gold amounted to effectively nothing. And a very methodical game from Bird, crushing it. Never count out the stubborn Dowie, yeah, but ooh, look at that, big loss. Lots of miners are routing over here. Slayer Pirates going down, still caught up by the cold ones. And it's actually flipped now. Now the dwarves need to start trading very quickly, but what tools do they have? Not many. I think it's just slayers. More miners are coming here, but they don't out-capture away the chameleon skinks. Even the caster is back. Are we going to see Uranins on the slayers over here? That would be very painful. Ooh, it's going to be a shot from the salamander. Boom! A lot of friendly fire, but it did a lot of damage to the slayers too. You know what? Not bad. Salamander has a lot of value. 1,400 is immense. Getting a little closer against his own will, because CA still has not fixed ranged line of sight very well, but he stops there to get another shot off. Boom, baby. That's a solid maybe 1,000 damage on those slayers. Big value. In the meantime, yep, miners are dead over there on the far side. Oof. Death. Death everywhere, man. Dwarves are now behind on tickets. Swift charge over here. When you're charging slayers with cavalry, you know you're doing well. Either that or you're making a massive misplay, but I think Bird is pretty comfortable now. Dang, the cav charges on the slayer is actually really painful. Boop. Completely misses. Salamander can afford to miss every once in a while, but there you go, that's GG. Well played. The grand finals is done, and Bird taken out Chosen, who took out me. Got the rougher side of the bracket, but still pulled through with some very decisive victories. One extremely close game, mind you, but otherwise some very, very clean matches. I like the builds. You got to see some solar engines. You got to see some normal salamanders, Razor Dawns, and the ancient salamander. Good selection of spellcasters, even some ogre play. Keep an eye out for this one. They look like they know what they're doing. Very, very nice game. So congratulations to them. Let's put it over here. I'll be heading to my appointment in a second. Let's see, where's it at? Tournament chat. At Bird. Congrats on the win. Some amazing games today. Very nice. And if they reported the score, remember to report score, please. And well played. And that should be it. How'd Crockguard or Gorog do? 1,000, not bad. Dang, even the Giant Slayers got wrecked. Dude, that was clinical. Going in the book. I think the Lizards will be ready for the next time they face Dwarves, though. Surprised that we didn't see a cannon build, though. I feel like cannons would have been able to bully the Salamander at least a bit. But yeah, it's been great. I just gotta get the adminning done, and then I am out of here. Hope you guys had a wonderful time. You guys had a great holiday and New Year's. I think we did witness, indeed, the game of the year today, which we submitted to Turin. What a game, that Norsen game. And tomorrow we're playing versus Danican, best of 9 series. Peace, and see you then. Boop.